Why, good evening. Hello, I'm back to vlogging. This feels so weird. Let me tell you guys, I was vlogging before and I got ready to go on there and have footage to edit, but then I realized that I was so excited to start over because I was so unhappy with how many like odd and end clips I had from just all my sickness that I deleted everything. So I don't have, we hosted Christmas Eve and I had filmed clips from that, and that's part of unfortunately what got deleted. But here we are starting off brand new again, vlogging. I feel like I spoke a little bit too soon when it came to saying that I was not sick anymore, because today I have been a sick little prego duckling. I'm craving some chicken soup of mine, which looks like it is done. Perfect. I'll show you guys this real quick. I think just coming off of the flu and then Christmas and being pregnant and first trimester and nausea, I have just been exhausted. So like today, I felt like I could have slept all day. And then I just was going through it like of nausea and stuff. But can we just say a hallelujah that this is almost embarrassing, you guys, to say, but this is how bad I've been feeling. In case you guys thought I was just neglecting YouTube. No, I was neglecting everything, including myself. I got to take a bath today and I got to like take care of things. I got to shave, got to scrub my feet, like do my own little pedicure, because your girl, it was rough. Being in a bath felt so nice, like for my body, my joints, everything, and then felt good for a little bit, and then it's just like I got sick again. Like everything has just not been settling right, but I feel like part of it is also because we all know from the holidays you don't eat the best, and so it's just been eating a lot of just like holiday foods, and I think my body's like done in general, and then on top of it with the pregnancy, it's just sick. So getting back to my basics of my good nutritious food. So gonna eat this chicken soup, which I'll show you guys. My bump is getting big. I feel like I am going to be ginormous in this pregnancy. Not even about eating and stuff like that, because really, honestly, at the end of the day, it's not like I've eaten a ton more than I normally do, but I just think I think I'm gonna be ginormous. Yes, here's my soup, and it's just got all kinds of yummy goodness. It's got carrots, it's got onion, it's got celery, the chicken. Normally I do chicken wings, but they didn't have chicken wings. They were all out. So I did some drumettes with some chicken thighs, and I did a little bit differently this time where I took the chicken and I put it in with some shallots. I let that kind of brown up a little bit first, and then I added all the fixins for the soup, and that's just been cooking for the last couple of hours, so the meat is super tender. I added fresh parsley. We've got some different kinds of herbs and stuff in there, green onion, and then I also put a little bit of ginger for my tum-tum, and what else did I do? Oh, and then a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So I did change up my normal sort of recipe, because usually I'm very plain Jane with it, but I decided to see how this does this time. When I talk about my baby bump, I could go in a mirror, but that requires too much of me right now. But like looking at myself in this reflection, like this is what I'm talking about, you guys. Like, do you see this? Has begun. And if you didn't know, I'm somebody who, if you're new to my channel, I had a mini tummy tuck. So my tummy was flat before baby. So that's where this is definitely mama's growing a baby here. I didn't even start showing with Orion, I felt like, until I was like over halfway through the pregnancy and stuff. So it's crazy. Those of you guys that have had multiple children, let me know down below, when did you start showing, when it was like your second and so on child, because I just feel like this is so quick for me to show, but I hear that this can be actually a common thing, but it still just makes me a little paranoid. I woke up in this morning, they're making coffee, and he's drinking you're drinking coffee? Excuse me?
Yeah.
Sean, please tell me that you really just poured creamer?
He's had coffee before. I don't know what's...
I want creamer.
Because he's crazy. He doesn't need coffee.
I want creamer.
You have creamer, Ryan. Try it.
He's not an overactive kid that needs... Oh, he's faking it. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. It's been a couple days since I filmed. I've needed a couple days of sleep. I've basically slept my days away the last couple days, but I needed it. And now I'm going to pour my own self a cup of coffee because our house is a disaster. We need to clean it. I'm preparing for my doctor's appointment tomorrow, which is my genetic one, the genetic screening. They always just make me nervous. I mean, just make me nervous. And I figured I would sit in a little bit after we get some cleaning and stuff done and talk about, because I've had people message me privately and I've had questions just about what I've been experiencing, the difference about being pregnant or some of the stuff that goes on in the States versus here in Italy. So I figured I'd kind of like go over a little bit of what it is really like being pregnant here overseas so far, at least during the first trimester when it comes to blood work, tests, just their treatment, everything. There's just some things that I figure I'll just answer for the masses instead of necessarily waiting and just doing it in private. So, as you can see behind me, my living room has changed because I was filming the first of different Clean With Me's after Christmas. So, I changed over our living room to its regular state again for the year. It's always kind of a little bit of a bummer when you take away all your Christmas and the festive, but I was kind of ready. I normally do it after New Year's, but honestly, with the way that I felt with pregnancy and different things, I felt like if I just take things slowly but surely, that's going to be easier than trying to throw it all on myself after the New Year's. And because I'm hosting a like play date brunch thing after the New Year, I felt like I just kind of want to go ahead and kind of have my house together versus also that pressure of trying to get everything done right before everybody comes over. I realized, let me turn this light back on because I asked you guys to go ahead and leave me your questions on Instagram for this pregnancy because I've been getting questions. I'm sorry, you guys, that I'm already out of breath in this pregnancy, but I need to change my battery. Then we're going to sit down. We're going to discuss some questions that you guys had for me. And I think I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog here. I know this was very chatty, but it is what it is. And tomorrow I'll be vlogging as we go to the genetic screening. I hope everybody, if you can please just kind of say a prayer for us. Just good thoughts for baby. It's always just nerve-wracking. Can you please go lay down somewhere? Okay, so one of the first questions is, do they have midwives there or are you doing an OB? So they have both. So you have midwives and then you also have an OB. So I see my OB at every appointment. That's who does my ultrasound. That's who's like checking on me and everything like that. But when you deliver and everything, you actually are delivered by midwives. So what's the difference between your first pregnancy and this one, and how have you been? Woo-wee. So I think probably a lot of you guys, if you've been following me since before I was even pregnant with Orion, know that this one is completely different than with Orion. So with Orion, I was just basically tired. I experienced a lot of acne and like chest acne and stuff. And that was probably my biggest complaint, was like the body acne that I felt like I got with him, and just acne, and then I was just really tired. This pregnancy, at first my skin was glowing, and now I'm starting to break out all over the place like with Orion. This one I've been really sick. I've had ridiculous morning sickness. This is the first, like with Orion, I would have some times of being nauseous but never puke or anything. This one I've been vomiting. I've been not able to eat things, the whole shebang. I've also had pretty intense cravings with this one from the beginning. Whereas with Orion, I would say that like I ate things and they tasted really good, but I didn't really have cravings until like my second trimester, third trimester, and I wanted olives. This one, I also love olives, but I also love a lot of other things. Like, I just am all over the place with this one. I will honestly be shocked if they were to say this is a boy. How many options do you have for where you can give birth? So here in Italy, something I want to give you guys background if you're new to my channel. So we're a military family stationed overseas in Italy, and a lot of times people think for military, if you're stationed overseas, you're giving birth on an American base. That is not the case where we are. We actually have to be part of the Italian system. So I literally had a full-on Italian birth experience where I was on the Italian economy. My doctors were Italian, my midwives were Italian, like I'm in an Italian hospital. What they give you as far as options for us when you're pregnant, because they do absolutely no OB care whatsoever on base. You have to go out onto the economy. You can either choose to go to the hospital or they have a birth center. That's your only options. There is the option to do like a home birth, but I never put that as an option for myself. Not to say that anybody who decides to do a home birth, that's anything's wrong with that. Just me personally, I have never wanted a home birth. I've always wanted to be at a hospital. That's also why I chose a hospital and not the birth center, because the birth center here does not have a NICU. They also cannot deal with you if you are high risk. So if you're somebody who's high risk or anything, you have to be seen at the hospital because they're just not equipped. And although I'm not considered high risk, I am just somebody who I'm overly cautious. So for me, I would rather be at the place that, heaven forbid, if anything happens, I'm there. I'm with people who have the equipment, have the resources, and are able to deal with whatever's going on. How different is the prenatal care from the American system? Are there things that you hate about it? What do you love about it? I feel like I'm gonna answer this now, and I also will probably answer something or make a video about this in the end, because obviously I can only speak as far as I've gotten with this pregnancy so far, but I know that I'll probably have way more information and intellect and insight after I've had the baby. But I can say that first off, it is very different than the American system in the aspect that, first off, Italian health care is public. So I know that like in America, you know, it's always the uproar and people want to keep it private and everything. So here in Italy, it is public health care. It's government health care. So as you can imagine, it's kind of busy. It's different. It's not these like super fancy hospitals and privatized things. That doesn't really bug me. It's just different. I can give you guys an example. I was telling my mom when it came to blood work is in America growing up, I always grew up in a private hospital system, is you go for your blood work and it's always some small little lab. They call you back. You're sitting in a specific chair that is obviously made for getting your blood drawn because it's got the fancy little pull-up to be able to put your arm on, to rest on, and things like that. When I went to go get my blood work here, it was like the DMV. Literally, you walk in, you go to the lab area, there's a ton of people, and you have to go to this kiosk and you have to press a letter. And I just know for us Americans, we press E. So I had to press the E and I was given a number. You literally have on a board, it'll say like now serving A52, B whatever. So you just wait for your number to like come up on the board, and then it'll tell you which room you have to go to. And there's like this whole long hallway of rooms and room numbers. So I like run down to my room number. I go in there and I'm in a fold out chair on a fold out table that they've put the sanitary paper over, and I'm just like, here's my arm and take my blood. So that was very different. So that's for one. The other thing that I will say that I have actually really liked though is the care and the dedication I feel like I get. So something that I would say kind of criticism of the American system is they're very about, I feel like at the end of the day, because it's private, they're about money, right? So they push for C-sections, different things like that, because at the end of the day, every person in that bed is a different bill. It's money to that hospital. Here, obviously, it's government, so that's not a thing. And so they take their time. which I really appreciate. Your appointments, I kid you not, like, so when I go to this one, for example, the genetic screening. In the States, the genetic screening is typically you go, you get your blood work, they're calling you if you have something or, you know, whatnot. Here, you go, you get your blood work, and then I go for this appointment tomorrow, and then the appointment is an hour long, like, ultrasound of them doing ultrasound and comparing it to the blood and really actually going in there and checking to see how the baby is doing for its genetic screening. Which maybe that could be some cases in the States, but what I experienced in the States was more of a, here's your blood draw, here's the probability of this, see you later, let's continue on. Also in the States, what I experienced was going to appointments after that first initial one, and it was very quick. It was come in, check the heartbeat, check your weight, goodbye. Here, it's, like I said, it's very detailed. You're getting an ultrasound almost every appointment. You're really sitting down with the doctor, you're talking about different things. Another aspect, I can make, like I said, a very dedicated video to this experience, and I probably will do that after I've had the baby, where I can give the full, I feel like, 180 on everything. But you have to carry your paperwork. So that's something that's very different for me. You know, in the States, you go, everything's put in a computer. Here, everything is very, like, they write it, and they write your appointments, they write your stats, all this kind of stuff, and you've got it in this folder, and that folder becomes one with you because it has everything, and you have to hold that, and you have to take that to every appointment. And afterwards, like, you give that to them basically when you're about to deliver, and that's going to be all your information. It is not in a computer. So that's something that's obviously very different than in the States. Somebody's saying they were going to ask us to do a sit-down Q&A with Sean on how to stay sane after deployment. I definitely want to do a sit-down Q&A with Sean. We just, to be honest, you guys, we haven't had the time. From Sean getting back from Korea, moving our family overseas, getting settled here, Sean's going into his new, like, this is a new job for Sean, new responsibilities. He's in charge of quite a few airmen. It's just, we've just been busy. So we will find time to sit down and do a Q&A, I'm sure, in the next few months. But right now, I just feel so bad because every time I've been like, hey, send us questions for Sean and I to do this, something has gone haywire. Someone asked if they think this is going to be our last baby. To be honest, we keep going back and forth on this. We always talked about how we thought we wanted 2 to 3 kids. I would say, based on how rough I felt in this pregnancy, I keep saying, like, I think this is going to be it. But in all honesty, I'm not sure. I think, and Sean and I are kind of on the same page. So basically, if this baby is a girl, we're both leaning very strongly at being done. If this baby's a boy, then we're both leaning pretty strongly on having a 3rd child to just, like, see if then we can also have a girl. But obviously, you know, if we're blessed with 3 boys, then that's fine too. It's just, we would like to have both genders. So it's just kind of one of those things where we don't really know yet, but I don't feel confident enough. I don't feel definitive, shall I say, not confident. I don't feel definitive enough yet to tell Sean to go get snipped yet. I can't believe we find out the gender actually pretty soon. So that should be interesting. Kid is back. My husband's back. My child's had an outfit change somehow. So I'm going to let him go ahead and close you guys out. I'll probably get this edited so it can get up to you guys, because now I'm trying to be back.
You don't want to do that to Lila.
I'm trying
that
to
hurts her.
Okay, trying to be back. I'm trying to be consistent, and yeah.
For activities.
Kiddos. All right.
There's only one.
You want to come tell the peeps bye?
Let me have this. Let me see.
Oh my goodness. And welcome to 3. Well, Lila, are you gonna listen? You want to tell the peeps bye, Lila? Say bye, Lila. Say bye-bye.
Bye.